I hate daylight savings time. Why on God's green earth do we still do it? And will it ever change? So how did we end up here in the first place? Well, back between World War II and 1966, about that, states really just had a choice of what they wanted to do, whether they wanted to have daylight saving time or stay in standard time. And by the way, I did say daylight saving time as a singular because that's technically the right way to pronounce it. But then in 1966, something called the Uniform Time Act of 1966 was born and signed into law. This law basically said that all states had to abide by the switching of clocks for daylight savings and standard time. But there was two exceptions, and that would be Arizona and Hawaii, because they initially opted out of the Uniform Time Act of 1966. So they're actually federally protected from going to daylight saving time and back every year. Why do we do this in the first place, you may ask? So basically the government wanted to use daylight saving time and standard time through the Uniform Time Act of 1966 to shift all of the daytime hours as much as possible from either earlier in the morning or later at night to smack in the middle of the day. This theoretically could help electricity costs because more people are out of their houses during the day and at workplaces. It could also theoretically keep kids safer because they're walking to school in the daytime instead of in the darkness. But that's kind of the thought, at least. So as you can see from this chart here, in the middle of January with daylight saving time, the sun would rise at 7:38 a.m. and set at 16:08 or 4:08 p.m. But if we were in permanent daylight saving time, which we'll talk about later, it would change the sunrise time to 8:38 a.m. and the sunset time to 17:08 or 5:08 p.m. So basically, like I said, it's shifting those times so that it kind of stays about the same as normal throughout the entire year. But there are opponents like myself who have, I think, very valid arguments as to why we should not do this. And I'll be honest, the biggest one is it's just freaking annoying. How many times have you guys, except if you live in Arizona and Hawaii, have you guys had daylight saving time in the fall or the spring end or begin, and then you have to go around and find the clocks, figure out what time it actually is because you don't know if your phone updated or not, and then find the clock in the oven, find the clock in the microwave, find the wall clock, find this and that, and change all of them only to find out that, well, you started with the wrong time to begin with. It's just annoying as heck, and we shouldn't be doing it. But also, there are some very concerning medical things that happen on the day after daylight saving time changes twice a year. There's actually a 24% spike in heart attacks and a 6% rise in fatal car accidents the next day. I'll give you one guess why we think that happens. And it's probably due to the same reason that you and I both hate daylight saving time. Is it shifts your sleep cycle back and forth an hour twice a year. And it's not so easy to just switch that back and forth so quickly. It actually takes anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to effectively switch that sleep cycle. And that means out of the year, 4 to 5 months, 6 months maybe tops, you're not getting good sleep, and that is not healthy for your body. Now, there are some states, like California, for example, where we live in right now, where they have passed state laws that have been voted on to get rid of daylight saving time, or make it permanent rather. So we don't have to switch the clocks back and forth. It's actually been voted on and approved by people living in California. But because of that Uniform Time Act of 1966, Congress has to agree to basically let us out of daylight saving time. And they have a hard time getting anything done right now. So do you think they're going to work on that? No. But in all fairness, there is actually a bill right now called the Sunshine Protection Act. It was first introduced in 2021 into the Senate, I believe, and it was passed. But it went to the House and basically died before it even got to committee. So it was actually brought up last year again in 2023, and one of the huge sponsors is of Florida, Marco Rubio. Now, I'm not going to get political on this, but I think this is one thing we can agree on as Americans, is that we need to stop doing this. I mean, we lived in Arizona for, 5 years, and we loved it, but we still had to deal with changing time zones for family in different states. This is just an arcane, frustrating, annoying, and sometimes deadly practice that we just don't need to do anymore. So if you want to make a change, go ahead and contact your congressman. We have links below so you can find it if you don't know who they are. And just send them a quick message saying, hey, we need you to support this Sunshine Protection Act so we can hopefully get rid of daylight savings and move on to more important things. Anywho, if you guys have any questions or comments, or if I just messed something up completely, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Thanks.